Good evening, I'm Lucrezia Minorini. The Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police has defended the controversial child abuse inquiry Operation Midland. Sir Bernard Hogan House said the investigation, which is looking into alleged murders by a high-profile paedophile ring, was thorough and professional, despite claims it is close to collapse. Simon Harris has more.
Harvey Proctor is the ex-Tory MP who says he's the victim of a gay witch hunt by Scotland Yard detectives looking into alleged murders and child abuse. Last month he disclosed how he was questioned about crimes said to have been witnessed by a man known only as Nick. Today, speaking over the internet from France, Mr Proctor claimed Operation Midland was discredited and on the verge of collapse.
I can foresee in the next 12 months no evidence to corroborate Nick's fantasy allegations will be forthcoming.
The police have been criticised for describing Nick's allegations as credible and true, but today the Commissioner said the Met had no intention of closing down Operation Midland.
That's not accurate. We will do whatever we need to do to get to the bottom of this. It's taken a while to get this far, but the trouble with these inquiries is often the victims and the witnesses don't have total recall of the information, the detail of the offence.
Martin Allen, who was 15, disappeared on his way home from school in London 36 years ago. His name has been linked to Operation Midland, and his brother believes the police have a duty to keep the investigation alive.
They have to get to the bottom of it, and, so we can lay Martin to rest or have a memorial service. I don't think we'll ever find his body.
The Commissioner has a team of almost 30 officers working on Operation Midland. The Yard says they will go where the evidence takes them. Simon Harris, ITV News.
Footage has emerged of police using flash bombs and smoke grenades to foil a burglary at one of London's most exclusive addresses. The video shows the operation underway outside a multi-million-pound property on Eaton Place in Belgravia yesterday. 4 men have been arrested. Drivers have endured traffic chaos on the M25 all day after a car transporter carrying 10 vehicles caught fire. The fire began at 7:30 this morning on the westbound carriageway between Enfield and Potters Bar. It took 30 firefighters to put it out. One lane is still closed to traffic and there are ongoing delays. David Walliams was at the Tower of London today launching a new play based on one of his best-selling children's books. Gangster Granny follows a boy and his grandmother who plot to steal the crown jewels. The play opens in Horsham in November and Walliams says the book's success has been a humbling experience.
It's the most fantastic thing in the world, getting lots of letters from kids and parents coming up to you in the supermarket and saying, I couldn't get my child to read, especially boys often. They say, I couldn't get my boy to read any books, and now he's read one of yours and now he's into reading. And I think you never forget your first books.
Weather now, here's Martin Stew.
Hey, bit cold, isn't it, Guy?
Not for much longer, Roy.
Great.
Hello again, turning increasingly cloudy out there this evening and a little damp in places overnight. A dull start then tomorrow, but it improves into the afternoon and we've got a really nice end to the week in store as well. It is going to be pretty cloudy out there tonight. That's going to trap some of the daytime heat in, so a mild night, always the risk of some patchy outbreaks of rain, particularly the further south you are. That rain's largely going to clear away by tomorrow morning, but it will be a little bit of a dull start. As the morning goes on, though, things brightening up, so some nice sunny spells by the afternoon. 1 or 2 isolated showers, quite breezy too, but a lovely end to the week with plenty of warm sunshine.
And that is all from the London team for now. We're back with the latest after ITV News at 10 for now. Bye-bye.
Now on ITV, the national and international ITV News.
Good evening. The worldwide boss of Volkswagen, Martin Winterkorn, has resigned over the pollution testing scandal. He said he was shocked by the events of the past few days thought to involve millions of cars, but personally he said he had done nothing wrong. Our business editor Joel Hills reports.
A week ago, Martin Winterkorn was in Frankfurt and had reason to look pleased. VW had recently overtaken Toyota to become the world's biggest car maker. Now he's gone, taking responsibility for a scandal he says he knew nothing about. The announcement was made by VW's executive committee. Its head said, "We recognise not only the economic damage caused, but especially the loss of trust of many customers around the world." In a separate statement, the executive committee thanked Dr. Winterkorn for towering contributions in the past decades and for his willingness to take responsibility in this critical phase for the company. This attitude is illustrious. The committee added that it was expecting further personnel consequences in the next few days. Volkswagen has asked state prosecutors to investigate who was responsible for the decision to use engine software to cheat emissions tests in the United States. It's still not clear if the company tried to do the same in Europe. The car industry has condemned what VW did. Here in Britain, Vauxhall, Ford, Toyota, Honda, BMW, Jaguar Land Rover and Nissan have all told ITV News they do not have defeat devices or similar software built into any of their vehicles. On the stock market, VW shares rallied. ITV News understands the company will revise down the number of cars involved in this scandal below 10 million. Better news, but still a very big number. Joel Hills, ITV News.
European leaders remain far apart in talks over relocating thousands of refugees. Some Eastern European countries are increasingly unhappy about the mandatory quotas passed yesterday. Well, our Europe editor James Mates is at those talks in Brussels. James, still no agreement?
No, nor is there likely to be, because those four countries are simply being outvoted and told they have to accept their quota of refugees. Hungary, Romania, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, the Slovaks in particular, very unhappy about it. Their Prime Minister saying he won't accept them while he's in charge and he's going to court to challenge it. Now, into all this, David Cameron is trying to put the emphasis back on keeping refugees in the camps in the Middle East. Another £100 million of UK money is going to go now to try and improve conditions there. And the President of the European Council, Donald Tusk, says the top priority is to reinforce Europe's external borders, because he says if this vast number of people continue to come into Europe, as he puts it, the whole principle of freedom of movement within the continent and of open borders will be put at risk.
James, thank you. Allegations that Northern Ireland's First Minister was to benefit from a massive property deal have been made to a Stormont inquiry. It is alleged Peter Robinson was set to receive a fee upon completion of the sale of loans to a bank. Mr. Robinson said the claims were, and I quote, scurrilous and unfounded. The health watchdog NICE says care visits for older people should last at least half an hour. It sets out a range of measures to improve services, but says the plans need extra funding. Pope Francis has called for further action on climate change on the first day of his visit to the United States. Speaking at the White House, he said the problem could no longer be left to a future generation. And Scotland have won their first match of the Rugby World Cup. They beat Japan by 45 points to 10. That's the same Japan who'd previously toppled South Africa. And that is it. Join Mark Austin and Julie Etchingham for the news at 10. But from me, bye-bye.
Stink. Not me.
No matter what the weather, Green Flag Breakdown Response sponsors the ITV National Weather.
Hello to you again. A very good evening. Well, today marks the autumn equinox. From this moment on, the day's a little shorter, the night's a little longer, and after a blip tomorrow, clearer skies return just in time for the weekend. Some sunshine by day, but some chilly and foggy nights. Lively downpours could well bring rumbles of thunder across Scotland and Northern Ireland tonight, waking some of us up. For the rest of us, not as cold as the last few nights. The cloud will mean some rain through in most counties. This slow to shift from the southeast tomorrow morning. Otherwise, brighter skies, but again, downpours with rumbles of thunder and possibly some hail across Scotland, Northern England and Northern Ireland. Otherwise, spells of sunshine and temperatures very similar to today, but feeling much cooler in the winds. See you soon.
Green Flag Breakdown Response sponsors the ITV National Weather.